The Armenians in Lebanon are Lebanese citizens of Armenian descent. There has been an Armenian presence in Lebanon for centuries. According to minority rights group International, there are 156,000 Armenians in Lebanon, around 4% of the population. Prior to the Lebanese Civil War, the number was higher, but the community lost a portion of its population to emigration. Prior to 1975, Beirut was a thriving center of Armenian culture with varied media production, which was exported to the Armenian diaspora. History: Armenians first established contact with Lebanon when Tigranes the Great conquered Phoenicia from the Seleucids and made it part of his short-lived Armenian Empire. When the Roman Empire established its rule over both Armenia and ancient Lebanon, some Roman troops of Armenian origin went there in order to accomplish their duties as Romans. After Armenia converted to Christianity in 301, Armenian pilgrims established contact with Lebanon and its people on the way to Jerusalem, some of whom would settle there. Armenians in Lebanon. The Armenian presence in Lebanon during the Ottoman period was minimal. However, there was a large influx of Armenians after 1915. Other Armenians inhabited the area of Karantina. Later on, a thriving Armenian community was formed in the neighboring district of Bush-Hamord. In 1939, after the French ceded the Syrian territory of Alexandretta to Turkey, Armenians and other Christians from the area moved to the Bekaa Valley. The Armenians were grouped in Anja, where a community exists to this day. Some of these Armenian refugees had been settled by the French Mandate authorities in camps in the south of Lebanon, which would later make way for Palestinian refugees. Armenians in Lebanon. During the Lebanese Civil War, Armenians, grouped in Bush-Hamord and Anja, did their best to remain neutral. There are three prominent Armenian political parties in Lebanon: the Armenian Revolutionary Federation, Social Democrat Hunchakian Party and Armenian Democratic Liberal Party. They play significant influence in all facets of Armenian life. Various Armenian armed organizations, such as ASALA, JCAG and ARA, became active in Lebanon and used it as a launching pad for their operations. Put forth by the Armenian bloc of the Lebanese parliament, the legislature unanimously approved on 4 April 1997 a resolution calling for the commemoration of the anniversary of the Armenian genocide perpetrated by the Ottoman Turkish government. After the 2006 Lebanon War, Turkey proposed to send some of its troops to Lebanon as a part of UNIFIL. Most Armenians strongly oppose any Turkish involvement. Demographics: Armenians live in many parts of Lebanon. Historically, most Armenians have lived in Beirut and M80N district. From Beirut proper we can mention Grand Ashrafia, Hajan, Khalil Badawi, Qam el-Zitoun, Ermel, Jamiz, Sawazik, and Jitawi. Armenians have had strong presence also in other Beirut regions such as Kandak, Amik, Zukak al-Blat, Zarif, Abidras, Sanaya, Clemenceau and Hamra, among others. During the Civil War, many of these Armenians emigrated or fled to safer regions in Lebanon. For the Beirut suburbs, there are big concentrations in M80N district, particularly Bush-Hamord, Dora, Amanos, Fana, Rauda, Jadid, Zalka, Jal el-Dib, Antilias, Mzher, Nakash, Dbayh, Orka, and in the regions situated from Antilias to Baikfalia. To the north, there are further Armenian populations scattered in Jonia, Jabal and Tripoli. There are Armenian religious centers in Antilias and Baikfalia and Beirut and Buma. There is an Armenian orphanage in historic sites in Jbeil. In the Bekaa, there are Armenians living in Zali and most notably Anja. Bushhamord, an Armenian city in Lebanon. Bushhamord is a suburb in East Beirut, Lebanon in the Metn district. The suburb is heavily populated by Armenians as it is where most survivors of the Armenian genocide settled. Bushhamord is an industrious area and is one of the most densely populated cities in the Middle East. It is divided into 7 major regions, namely Dora, Sada, Nahr, Beirut, Anbari, Mardume, Nabra and Guilan. Bushhamord has a majority Armenian population but also has a notable number of other Lebanese Christians, a considerable Shia Muslim population, a Kurdish population, and some Palestinian refugees and newcomer Christian refugees from Iraq. Most streets in Bushhamord are named after various Armenian cities such as Yerevan, mountains such as Aragats, and rivers such as Arax. A lot of streets are also named after cities and regions in modern-day Turkey which were heavily populated by Armenians such as Cilicia, Marash, Sis, Adna, etc. Mizha, an Armenian town in Lebanon. Mzheon is a small town located between Antelias and Balim in Matn district. It is a new town, where most of the population is Armenian, along with other Christians. In Mzheon the Armenian community has one of the top Armenian schools, Melenkton and Hagaslanian College, and a socio-cultural sport club, Opalion. The headquarters of SAHALCO are also situated nearby. Most of the Armenians of Mzheon come from Bushhamord, Ashrafia, Anja, and the other old Armenian quarters. Anja, an Armenian village in Lebanon. Anja, also known as Ha'ush Musa, is a town of Lebanon located in the Bekaa Valley. The population is about 2,400, consisting almost entirely of Armenians. Political representation. According to the traditional Lebanese confessional representation in the Lebanese parliament, a certain number of seats have been reserved for Armenian candidates according to the confession. Presently the Lebanese Armenians are represented in the 128-seat Lebanese parliament with 6 guaranteed seats as follows: 1 Armenian Orthodox and 1 Armenian Catholic seat in the Beirut electoral district, 2 Armenian Orthodox seats in the Beirut II electoral district, 1 Armenian Orthodox seat in the Matn district, 1 Armenian Orthodox seat in Zala district. As many Protestants in Lebanon are ethnic Armenians, the sole parliamentary slot for evangelical community has at times been filled by an Armenian, making for a total of 7 Armenian deputies in the Lebanese parliament. Lebanese Armenians have been represented in government by at least 1 government minister in the formations of Lebanese governments. In case of larger governments, Armenians are traditionally given to government ministry positions. Lebanese Armenians also have the quota in top-level public positions. Education. Lebanon is the location of the only Armenian university outside Armenia, Hagazian University. Founded in 1955, Hagazian is a liberal arts Armenian institution of higher learning, which uses English as the language of instruction. Most Armenian schools are run by the 3 Armenian Christian denominations. Others are run by cultural associations like Hamas Kayan and Armenian General Benevolent Union. Notable schools include Armenian Evangelical College, Armenian Evangelical Central High School, Armenian Evangelical Shamlan Tatigwayan Secondary School. Media. Punic was the first Armenian newspaper in Lebanon. Press. Dailies. There are 3 Armenian daily newspapers published in Beirut, all mouthpieces of the traditional Armenian political parties. Aztag, a daily newspaper that speaks on behalf of the Armenian Revolutionary Federation, Tashnag, and was established in 1927. It also published an online English version and an online Arabic supplement. Ararat, a daily newspaper published by the Social Democrat Hunchakian Party, Hunchag Party, Zartonk. Daily newspaper is published by Armenian Democratic Liberal Party, Ramgvar, and was established in 1937. For the defunct Armenian political newspapers besides Punic in the 1920s, one should mention the independent non-partisan newspaper Ayk Dailies. Lebanese Armenian publishers Dikran and Lucy Tosbat also published the French-language Le Soir. Special mention should also be made for the Armenian leftist daily newspaper Jogavurti, which had a short span of publication but remained influential during its span of publication. Press, weekly publications and periodicals. Lebanon has kept throughout a strong tradition in periodicals and weekly newspapers in the Armenian language, so obviously it is impossible to cover all. But from the notable long-running publications, special mention could be made for HASG, official publication of the Catholicosate of the Great House of Cilicia. Avadik, official publication of the Armenian Catholic Church. Yeridisat Hayuhi, which was later turned into an independent political bi-weekly called Yeridisat Hay. Norjiank, the lifestyle newspaper magazine. Ganj, the Armenian Communist Weekly. Kosnag, the Armenian General Benevolent Union official publication. Pakan, literary cultural publication. Sherek, literary cultural publication. Spurk, literary and cultural publication. Massis, Armenian Catholic publication. Bardani Ganatsak Ank, Armenian Evangelical youth publication. Academic publications. HASG Haryaki Dagan Hantis, an annual Armenological publication by the Holy See of Cilicia. Hagazian Armenological Review, an annual Armenological publication of Hagazian University. Radio. The Lebanese state radio established very early on daily radio broadcasts in Armenian through its second channel consecrated to broadcasting in languages. The programming goes on to date on Radio Liban. During the Civil War, the Lebanese Armenians established a great number of unlicensed radio stations. The pioneer was the popular radio station, Radio Paradise, and later on, Vanna Sign. However, with the Lebanese parliament enacting laws organizing the airwaves, all the unlicensed stations had to close. They were replaced by two operating and fully licensed radio stations operating in Armenian in Lebanon in accordance with the new broadcast laws. Voice of Van and Radio 7. Television. Lebanese private stations and state-owned Tele-Liban have consecrated occasionally television programming in Armenian on certain occasions. During the Lebanese Civil War, an Armenian television station, Paradise Television, cooperated with Radio Paradise, was established through a broadcast tower in Bush Hamord. But Paradise Television, Armenian television station, had to close after it failed to get a broadcasting license according to the new laws organizing the airwaves. Al-Mustaqbal Television and OTV broadcast daily 30 minutes news and comments in Armenian in the regular programming schedule. Religion. Officially, there are three Armenian denominations recognized by the government. The Armenians have Armenian Orthodox, Armenian Catholic, or Armenian Evangelical mentioned in their identity cards, in the denomination field. Sometimes, however, there are variations, particularly in case of the Armenian Evangelicals. Sometimes registered as just Evangelicals are Protestants without mention of Armenian. There are also some Armenian Catholics who are registered under the denomination Latin, sometimes Armenian Latin. Apostolic Armenians. The Holy See of Cilicia is located in Antelias. It was relocated there in 1930 from Sis after the Armenian genocide, alongside the Mother See of Holy Echmiadzin and located in Republic of Armenia. It is one of the two sees of the Armenian Apostolic Church. The Catholicos, the leader of the Holy See of Cilicia, has his summer residence in Baikfaya in the Matn district, also north of Beirut. The seminary of the Armenian Apostolic Church is also on site at Baikfaya. The affairs of the Lebanese Armenian Orthodox population, however, are run by an independent body, the Armenian Prelacy of Lebanon, with its own Armenian Primate of Lebanon Bishop Share Panassian as head. The Armenian Apostolic churches in Lebanon include the St. Gregory the Illuminator Mother Cathedral, which serves as the church for the Holy See of Cilicia. The big complex also contains a memorial chapel dedicated to the victims of the Armenian genocide, an Armenian library, printing presses, Armenian museum and Vefharan, residence of the Catholicos of Cilicia, and premises for the clergy. Holy Sign Armenian Orthodox Church, which serves as the church for the Armenian Apostolic Archbishopric of Lebanon and head office of the Armenian Primate of Lebanon. St. Hagar Armenian Apostolic Church, St. George Armenian Apostolic Church, Armenian Apostolic Church of the Assumption, Armenian Apostolic Church of the Assumption, 40 Martyrs Armenian Apostolic Church, Holy Mother of God Armenian Apostolic Church, St. Vatin Armenian Apostolic Church, St. Sarkis Armenian Apostolic Church, St. Paul Armenian Apostolic Church, Holy Pentecost Armenian Apostolic Church, Holy Mother of God Armenian Apostolic Church, a complex that also includes the Zarihi and Tebravankan, the commemorative statue of the Armenian genocide. Catholic Armenians Armenian Catholic Church has its patriarchate in the Lebanese capital Beirut, and represents Armenian Catholics around the world. Armenian Catholic Church also has its summer residence and its convent in Besuma, Lebanon. Armenian Catholic churches include St. Eli Street, Gregory the Illuminator, Armenian Catholic Church of the Annunciation, also serving as church for the Armenian Catholic Patriarchal Eparchy, Armenian Catholic Church and the Convent of Besuma, St. Saviour Armenian Catholic Church, Holy Cross Armenian Catholic Church, Our Lady of Fatima Armenian Catholic Church, Our Lady of the Rosary Armenian Catholic Church, Evangelical Armenians Armenian Evangelical Church headquartered in Ashrafia. The affairs of the Lebanese evangelical community is run by the Union of the Armenian Evangelical Churches in the Near East. Major Armenian Evangelical Churches: First Armenian Evangelical Church, Armenian Evangelical Church, Armenian Evangelical Church, Armenian Evangelical Church, Armenian Evangelical Brethren Church, Armenian Evangelical Church. The churches also have active youth branches called Chanitz and summer camps at Gechag, near Beirut. There are also a number of Brethren churches of evangelical orientation. Monuments: Armenian Genocide Monument Baikfaya is home to a commemorative plaque and monumental sculpture honoring the victims of the 1915 Armenian Genocide, designed by Zavant Kadeshian and renovated by Hovsep Karkarian in 1993. The outdoor, freestanding sculpture rests on top of a hill that is located on the grounds of the summer retreat of the Catholicate of Cilicia. The sculpture is a bronze abstract figure of a woman standing with hands open toward the sky. A plaque with Arabic and Armenian inscriptions reads, "This monument commemorating the 50th anniversary of the Armenian genocide was erected with the cooperation of the whole Armenian community in Lebanon, to celebrate the rebirth of the Armenian nation and to express gratitude to our country, Lebanon." April 24, 1969. The Armenian community of Lebanon visits the monument on April 24th every other year. The pilgrimages are alternated with the memorial chapel at the Armenian Catholic Osate in Antelias. Sports and Scouts movements. There are 3 predominantly Armenian sports clubs in Lebanon with a strong tradition in sports as well as scouting. Their home Netman Beirut, also known as HMEM, full name Haymamnija Tagan in Thanormiyushatun. Homenman Beirut, also known as HMM, full name Haymarzagan Miyushatun. Antranik Sports Club of the Armenian General Benevolent Union AGBU. All of them have various branches distributed in many Lebanese cities throughout the country where there are Lebanese Armenian communities. Football. The Armenian clubs Home Netman and Homenman have important football teams in the official 1st and 2nd Division football leagues in Lebanon, although the membership of the teams is not restricted to ethnic Armenians and will usually include other Lebanese non-Armenian players as well as contracted foreign players, including professional players from the Republic of Armenia. Home Netman Beirut has won the Lebanese Football Championship title 7 times in the years 1944, 1946, 1948, 1951, 1955, 1963 and 1969, and Homenman Beirut the championship title 4 times in 1945, 1954, 1957 and 1961. Overall, both clubs feature in the top 5 of most titles in Lebanese football, with Home Netman Beirut winning 7 Lebanese titles and Homenman 4 titles. Basketball. Armenian clubs Antranik and Home Netman have prominent basketball teams playing in the official 1st and 2nd Division Basketball League in Lebanon, although the membership of the teams is mixed and is not restricted to Armenians and will usually include other Lebanese non-Armenian players as well as contracted foreign players. Many Lebanese Armenians have represented Lebanon in the national team. In women's sports, the Armenian basketball clubs are traditionally considered as powerhouses in the sport, and both clubs have won the official Lebanese Basketball Championships women title on several occasions. The Armenian club Antranik's women basketball team went on to win the Pan-Arab Championship titles. Other sports. The above-mentioned Lebanese Armenian clubs also have huge influence on many other sports in Lebanon, but most notably in cycling, table tennis and track and fields. Individual Armenians have also excelled, most notably in weightlifting, wrestling and martial arts competitions. Women's sports. Lebanese Armenians also have great influence in women's sports in Lebanon, most notably in basketball, cycling and table tennis. The Armenian basketball clubs of Home Netman and Antranik have won the official Lebanese Basketball Championships on several occasions. The Armenian club Antranik's women basketball team went on to win the Pan-Arab Championship titles. People. Notable personalities: Aramai, head of the Holy See of Cilicia; Kachik Babikian, former Member of Parliament and Minister; Pierre Chamassian, comedian; Lori Haytayan, civic activist; Zavan Kouyumjan, TV talk show host; Guy Manokian, composer; Arth Nazarian, former Member of Parliament; Karim Pakraduni, politician and former minister; Hagop Pakradunian, Member of Parliament; Serge Tankian, vocalist of System of a Down; Paula Yakubian, TV presenter. Roy Malakian, international DJ and music producer. Vartan Ghazarian, Lebanese international footballer.